car skirmish in the final training period the day before this event. So he's out back. The others that were involved in this race, they're up there and ready to go. That includes Chad Little in the 9. And Stan Smith, number 73 out back. Here we go, 26 cars to be pared down to 14 in this first 125-mile qualifier. Three-time winner of the 125s. On the outside, then number 11, Bill Elliott, looking for 4 is Schrader. Ducks to the inside, and they're 3 wide into turn 1.
Well, he got a good start, Ken, and he's going to take the lead, going, or at least past Kyle Petty. Petty's not going to take any chances, as he said. He wants to be around to start on the pole on Sunday, but Schrader, a very good start.
We're already seeing these drivers, the security they have with the car, making moves early. They nail these things down. These guys are ready to go racing.
Kyle Petty looking to the inside for turn 3. Kyle ready to challenge again.
Well, he's not saving too much, is he?
You know, it takes them about a lap and a half to get these cars to full throttle, to get them up to full speed. And it looks like Kyle was a little slow on the start, but he's got it wound up now.
Front row back together to end lap number 1. And that 21-year-old stays right there in third spot, Jeff Gordon out of Indiana.
I think he runs so good as a rookie. He's such a good little driver, you forget that he's a rookie. Here's Jeff Gordon mixing up with the best in the sport. I mean, he holds his own with them.
Rick Hendrick says of this kid at number 24, this is my franchise.
Yeah, I think it's like you say, I think we're going to see these guys just be willing to run some of these miles down. They can't afford to take a lot of chances. They want to see what these cars will do. There's Gordon jumping to the inside.
Fords have 5 of the top 6 spots at the moment, and there goes Gordon shooting down the inside.
Good move.
Right into second spot. Right on the
right up there. Knew he had room in front of Rick Mast to get back in. Very smart move.
Can you imagine what it feels like this young man to take the lead in this race? Here he is, his first chance to go Winston Cup racing with a team the caliber of this, and now he's up here fixing to have a chance to lead the race.
5'6", about 145 pounds, an all-racer.
Now look back here, about 8th or 9th, 10th place where Kyle Petty and Davey Allison and that group are. Ooh, Mark Martin got a little loose coming off that turn. He's the white car down on the inside of Davey Allison coming off of turn 4.
Again, here's Mike.
Ken, when Jeff Gordon dropped to the inside, that was against their game plan. Ray Evernham told him, you're to ride for 122.5 miles. Get in position and ride. Then the last lap is all yours. He wasn't waiting on it.
Well, I guess he wants to ride in second instead of third. Maybe he feels he'll have a better shot on the last lap if he can stay in that position. There might be some others have something to say about that before this race is over, though.
I tell you, it's hard to tell somebody when they got a car that good not to race.
Now, one thing we're going to see here, we see the first 4 cars running in single file, but some of the other cars beginning to jockey for position back there. That could hurt them. They are able to stay up there.
Here comes Gordon, the 21-year-old, closing up on the 2-time master of the 500, Bill Elliott. Jeff Gordon down to the inside, looking for daylight.
He knows Kyle Petty will come with him, which 2 cars working together in the draft can run faster than 1 car by itself. So he'll just wait for the right place.
They better give him a call from those pits again, because I believe he's getting pretty antsy. He's not liking that following part.
Neil, you won 125-miler on 2 occasions. How's it feel to sit out there looking for that hole waiting? You won one of these races over Richard Petty on the very last lap when you shot him down. What's it like to have to hold that bridle and roll this thing a little?
Sometimes you know you got a thoroughbred sitting under you, and it's hard not to pull out the whip and pop him and make him go. When you got a good race car, the thing to do is go, not ride.
Last time a driver won 125 in his first start. You go way back on that one, Ned. Johnny Rutherford did it in '63. He was here 8 times in the 500, Johnny Rutherford, but it was 30 years ago, and that's the mark that Jeff Gordon is shooting at right now. Here he comes. Gordon to the inside, Elliott on the outside, Kyle Petty deployed third. First turn is where the action is.
He just couldn't stand it any longer. He figured his car was a little bit faster than Elliott, decided it's time to make the move, and look at him go.
Let's see if they move over and pick Schrader up. They dumped Schrader for the 11 car. We were talking Ford Chevrolet. They got by him, and they dumped Schrader to the inside. I thought they might pull back and pick him up.
Yep, he's down there with no one to help him.
On this race, himself. He's won it with Darrell Waltrip. He's won it with Cale Yarborough in the 500. And he's won this race on many occasions himself, 3 to be exact.
Ken, they might have given Jeff Gordon permission to go ahead. They had the stopwatches on these cars. They figured he might could lead faster than Bill Elliott was leading. That might be right also, because they begin to pull away just a little bit from these other cars back here.
And I can't help but think, here they're training this young man to go racing. You can train to follow. I'm sure you learn a lot back there, but he'll learn an awful lot and build his confidence up leading this race.
We'll return to the Twin 125s after this message and a word from your local station. At 33 of 50 laps, it's a scramble out there. For the lead, Petty on the inside, Jeff Gordon on the outside. Down to Petty's pit.
As Kyle goes for the lead, Robin Pemberton, we asked him earlier if he could get the push out of the car. What's he telling you?
He hasn't said a word. We're just doing the best we can. We're going to try to run the whole race without stopping and use this as a test. You know, if it gets too wild out there, we'll just park the car.
Well, he's making it wild right now.
Well, he made a move, Mike, that cost him a position. When he went on the inside, no one went with him. He thought he had enough momentum to do it all by himself, Neil, but he couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, what was interesting about that move, here's an option. Here's the 24 car with a rookie, and there's Kyle Petty, and Bill Elliott went with the rookie and dove behind him and drove him right on back around Kyle. So maybe he'd rather deal with the Gordon car than with Kyle Petty at the end of this race.
I think that's the point, that Elliott would rather deal with the 24 car than Kyle Petty. He knows how strong the Pontiac of Petty is. Now, can Petty get back up there and get himself back in position for any kind of a last lap run?
You know, we're sitting there saying like anybody can go by that 24 car as they want to. Yeah. We really don't know how strong that thing is until right at the end of this race.
Well, it's obvious it's pretty strong.
Here we see Davey throwing his hand up again to let them know they're getting down in the corner. So they're talking back and forth.
Davey Allison back there in 8th. An early caution eliminated Stan Smith in the Barkdahl, number 73, and Kinzer, Steve Kinzer's cars, both wrecked in turn number 1. The speed has climbed up to 161 mile an hour average, however, even with that singular caution in this first 125-mile qualifying race. It continues to be Jeff Gordon fighting up in front for the lead with Bill Elliott. That's been the scramble. Kyle Petty stays in 3rd with Ted Musgrave 4th, Derek Cope 5th, Schrader in 6th. Running 7th is Martin, Davey Allison in 8th, Bobby Hill in 9th, Rick Wilson in 10th. 7 laps remaining in the first 125-mile qualifier. They're now saying the exhaust pipe Del McCowart's car penetrated the windshield, really tore up Mark Martin's machine.
This might be a good opportunity, this little bit of layback, to see if Kyle Petty and Schrader can make this run right here. Those 2 cars worked good at the first race if they'll get back together. Boy, I tell you, Jeff Gordon just jumped right out there, a lot of muscle. There's Kyle down to the inside already.
Bill Elliott's in 2nd. Back and forth is Schrader.
Boy, look how close Elliott is running on Jeff Gordon. That's the way you need to draft. Get as close up there as you possibly can and push him down the straightaway.
6 laps to go. Here's Mike Joy.
Ray Evernham is Jeff Gordon's crew chief. Whatever happened to that find a spot and ride strategy?
Well, he found a spot and it seems like he's riding in it.
What's the risk-reward ratio of getting to victory lane?
We just want to finish. You know, he's trying real hard to win. We're going to do the best we can.
Just trying to finish.
I think first. Ken, I think, and Ned, I think something to look for at the end. Every time we've seen somebody try to make the pass on Jeff Gordon, he's been real courteous. He's moved over. He's given them that inside line they just wasn't capable of passing. We'll have to see at the end, does he protect that inside and get a little bit more greedy with giving up ground?
It'll be interesting to see. I'm sure he has done a lot of watching. I'm sure he's watched races here on CBS in the past and said, boy, if I was in that position, I would do this. Now he has the opportunity. We'll see what comes out.
The Donlevy car, number 90, is up to 5th, Bobby Hillen. And into 6th rolls Davey Allison, defending 500-mile champion.
Mark Martin with that damaged windshield, passing cars back there.
Actually, I say 2 through 7, 2 back to 14. 14 spots coming out of this race and 14 out of the second 125-mile qualifier. After you take out those 2 guys on the pole, Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett, who secured that several days back.
Boy, I tell you, Bill Elliott is a master at this draft. We saw on that restart when he needed to, Ned, he got right up under that car and pushed him down that straightaway. Watch him roll back here, stay back a few. He's staying back a car length. He's testing to see if that car will pull back up on Gordon. He did it the first lap. We're going to see if he's got enough at the end to do it.
Chevy in first, Ford in second, Pontiac in third. Laps running down. And so now we are down to it to decide this first 125-miler. 21-year-old Jeff Gordon in front, the two-time 500-mile champion right there. Elliott in second as they come back down.
Something that might enter into the way this thing plays out is earlier in the race, Kyle Petty had to understanding with Elliott that they would work together. Elliott went the other way. Let's see what happens now.
Final lap. Last time around this 2.5-mile track. Gordon first, Elliott second, Kyle Petty third, Schrader, Chevy back there in fourth, Bobby Hillin lies fifth.
Looks like Bill's getting him a little bit of running room to see if he can reel him in or not.
Now he backed up. Does he need any help from Kyle Petty? Will Kyle Petty give him any help? Here he comes. He looks at the outside. Now he comes down, looks at the inside. No place to go in either way.
Kyle looks in time. About 20 seconds to pay dirt.
And Elliott closed the door on Kyle going into the turn. He went down and took that bottom groove. Jeff Gordon's going to win this race, fellas.
Out of four, here they come, rolling to the line. And the rookie from Indiana, it's Gordon across in first. The two-time 500 winner, Elliott in second, Kyle Petty in third. How about that one?
I'll tell you, just a few years ago, they said, well, how are they going to replace the Pettys and Pearsons? It looks like out of the cradle to me.
We'll be back to meet this real baby. Look again at history in the making as we come down for the youngest winner in 125-mile qualifying history. Jeff Gordon.
The man learned quickly. He kept his car right down on the bottom of the racetrack in the perfect groove around here. They had no chance of making any kind of a pass as they came off of turn 4.
Looks like he was the only guy that knew how good that car was. He didn't want to follow anyone.
He'll start third in the 500. Jeff Gordon of Pittsboro, Indiana. Let's join him now in Victory Lane with Chris Economaki.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, I hear you were lost.
I sure was, man. This was the last thing was ever on my mind. We had a real strong car. These guys, this DuPont crew, they worked real hard, and it's paid off for them.
You need to direct us to Victory Lane, right?
Yeah, I had no idea how to get here. I just followed all the NASCAR officials, but I'm sure I was going to find my way.
Did you know who you beat, Jeff, in this business?
Well, you know, I mean, these are the best. This is everything I've ever worked for to get to this point. And I didn't ever expect to do this early. And we've got a real strong team. I can't say enough for Hendrick Motorsports, DuPont, and their engines, Valvoline, everybody. This is great.
What about Sunday's 500? Are you ready to win that?
Well, I wasn't ready to win this one, but we did. So you never know. Anything can happen, but we've got an awful good car, and we know that.
Good luck Sunday.
Thank you.
And now to my colleague, Mike Joy.
Pate's car is in, and we're ready to go racing to Big D. On the break, Schrader gets the jump.
He does get a good jump on the rookie P.J. Jones on the outside. Here's Ernie Irvin coming down on the inside, making it 3 abreast into turn 1. He clears Harry Gant, 2 abreast now.
The black red numeral number 28 pulling up, and you see Earnhardt in the number 3 closing in on that green and white livery of Ken Schrader. 3 wide back.
Drafting such an important part of racing here in Daytona. There's Irvin down on the inside again. He picks up Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. Rusty Wallace up high, riding a Ford this year for the first time.
Around to complete, lap number 1. The 89 and 90 winner, Schrader out in front. Remember a year ago, Earnhardt came from the back and won it overall, won both sections of the race. Jeff Gordon falling back in the number 24.
But Kyle makes the pass, and here comes Jeff Gordon. The car number 6 of Mark Martin caught up on the outside, and the draft goes by on the inside. Ooh, look at Gordon gets a little bit skirmish there as he went around. There's Earnhardt going up on the outside. Jeff Gordon in the multicolored number 24 coming with him up on the outside. There's Jeff Bodine. Made some major repairs on his car during this stop. Ooh! Jeff Gordon and Brett Bodine get together a little bit, but they gather them back in.
Earnhardt up to fourth. Jeff Gordon goes into fifth with the number 24.
It's not quite as far as it looked there, but here's Earnhardt now, passing Elliott. Jeff Gordon riding on the tail of Earnhardt, coming right on up through the pack.
Earnhardt into third.
Gordon spent a lot of time riding on the tail of Earnhardt during the Daytona 500 last year.
Earnhardt going for second. The black number 3 down to the inside. Mark Martin deployed outside.
Okay, Earnhardt now moving into second as they go into turn 3. Ernie Irvan moved into second pretty early in that other race, but couldn't pass Earnhardt because Earnhardt hadn't cleared Mark Martin yet. But if he does get up there to second, which it looks like he will, then will he be able to pass Irvan? Irvan couldn't pass him.
Coming down, 4-car draft on the bottom. Advantage, Earnhardt, he really pulls up. Mark Martin fading back. Brett Bodine underneath him.
Mark Martin caught up there exactly like he was in the last race. Nothing he could do about it.
Battle for the lead.
A pair of Chevrolets trying to team up and move around the Ford. Earnhardt in a Chevrolet and Jeff Gordon in a Chevrolet.
Earnhardt to the inside. That Richard Childress car always works strong anywhere that Earnhardt wants to put it here at Daytona. But he has seen Jinx star-crossed to win the 500. He intends to rectify that next Sunday, and you'll watch it live on CBS, the great American race.
Brett Bodine hanging in there in fourth place, looking much stronger in this 10-lapper than he did in the first 10-lapper, because this is where the bigger money is.
Irvan stays first, Earnhardt second, Gordon third as they come back to the line. And it's Brett Bodine fourth, Bill Elliott fifth, Mark Martin sixth, Kyle Petty seventh, Rusty Wallace eighth, Schrader back there in ninth.
Ernie Irvan's got to be wondering, okay, Earnhardt came up through there pretty quickly, too. Irvan got there first, but does he have anything left? Is he going to sit there and wait until the last lap, the next to the last lap? When will it be, or will he go ahead and try to make his move before then?
No gold medals here, just all cold cash. And a preview of 42 cars next Sunday settling in for the 500.
There's 6 cars in this lead draft. They've broken away from Kyle Petty, who is in 7th place.
4 Fords, 2 Chevys up here in this first group. Darrell Waltrip, you want to be first or second right now?
Well, I tell you right now, I think Dale's just playing the cat and the mouse game. He's sitting there. I believe old Ernie's in big trouble, and I think he probably knows it. So we'll see what happens. I believe Dale will get him on the last lap.
Darrell, what about Jeff Gordon? He followed Dale just like this in the closing laps of last year's 500. Did he learn enough to beat him here?
He likes Dale better than he does Ernie.
Jeff Gordon, number 24, the rookie, who finished 5th in the 500 a year ago, closes in on Earnhardt. And the Kenny Bernstein car, number 26, Brett Bodine, looking very good out here in fourth.
Well, Brett knows he has got to pass at least one more car before he has a shot.
Earnhardt to the inside.
Earnhardt making his move earlier than we thought he might.
Irvan trying to counter. Not much you can do right there.
But look, Gordon's up there following the Ford. He wants to, well, maybe now he pulls down to the inside, going to give Earnhardt a little bit of help. But it looked like for a moment he's going to help Ernie, but now he gets down. Now he wants to take the lead. Now he's in position to do it.
3 wide in the back straightaway.
Ooh, they're close together, but Jeff Gordon makes the pass. Good move. Here comes Brett Bodine. He'll follow Gordon, keep the second.
Shocker here. Gordon going into first, Brett Bodine to second. And relegated back to third, and Earnhardt's car looks squirrely going into 3 that time.
Yeah. Getting mixed up in the air that comes off of the cars there just in that particular part of the racetrack.
White flag is out. They touch at 190 miles per hour. Jeff Gordon, no rookie anymore, stays out in front. Brett Bodine in second. Earnhardt doing a masterful job of picking that car up in control. Remember, they're floating like feathers at 190 miles an hour around this racetrack.
But Ernie, Dale Earnhardt has to be wondering if he made his move a little bit too early back
here. He comes back one more time.
He moves to the inside. Look down there, but Brett Bodine said, no, that's my spot. Oh, Earnhardt is very loose. Goes high on the racetrack. He gathers it back in. That cost him no chance to catch up with them now as they come for the checkered flag.
Down the stretch for the final time. Jeff Gordon in front. Brett Bodine's going to make a shot. Short. Jeff Gordon in the Rick Hendrick Chevrolet has defeated Ernie Irvin, has defeated Mark Martin and Earnhardt. Different winner in the 16 years of the Busch Clash. And next Sunday, he'll be carrying a CBS camera as he goes in quest of the great American race. Hope you'll be with us for that event here, which will have Loy Allen Jr. on the pole, a rookie, and Dale Earnhardt looking for his first 500 winner. Be with us.
CBS Sports coverage of the 1994 Daytona Speed Weeks is dedicated in loving memory to our colleagues Jack Foster and Neil Bonnet.
And they address themselves to the start line. The first of 120 laps of fireworks tonight. Green flag. Winston Open is on, and it is Nemechek. With the quick jump, he moves up to the high lane. Ward Burton drops down. Kenny Schrader there. Working low on the racetrack, picking up a spot.
Well, these cars are beautiful out here under the lights. See how they sparkle now on the back straightaway. Here's the part of the racetrack I was talking about. See the dark edge there? The car will handle different in the sunlight than it does in the dark, too. They'll hold better in the dark part of the racetrack.
First six single file. Bump position is sixth. That's where Rick Mast is fighting side by side with Todd Bodine. Sixth is the spot to watch here.
Jeff Gordon coming up in the frame there. Jeff Gordon told me, keep your eye on me. I think I'm going.
Jeff Gordon in number 24, the DuPont car. Brett Bodine in 26, Quaker State. They are the first cars in this race on Goodyear tires. The front four right this moment on Hoosiers. 6 positions transfer to the main event. Brett Bodine as the final transfer spot right now.
3 abreast racing.
Kenny Schrader, number 25, the Kodiak Chevy, started 17. In just 5 laps, he's 10.
Jeff Gordon moving up there, too.
I wonder if Buffy told Schrader the formula.
I don't know. I hope Michael Walter makes the top 10.
Second place,
Boy,
Jeff Gordon.
One thing about Jeff Gordon, if he tells me it's going to rain, I'm going to get an umbrella, because I tell you what, he's on the move here, folks.
Jeff, don't call me Flash Gordon. In number 24, the DuPont Chevy, Ray Evernham, the former modified racer. His crew chief and mentor, Rick Hendrick, owns that car. Up front, the Jasper Engines, U.S. Air Ford, Greg Sachs.
Boy, that's 2 good ones there. That's 2 forces on the racetrack right there. Greg Sachs is as brave as anybody alive, and Jeff Gordon is also, so this will be a fight here.
Down to the bottom comes Jeff Gordon. He takes the lead. Puts Goodyear out in front of Hoosier in the tire battle for the moment.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. It didn't take them a whole lot of time to get by. I thought they'd run side by side for a little while.
Remember, Jeff Gordon led this race last year as a rookie. Got up out of the groove and crashed. Green flag to restart this race with 28 laps complete. It is Dave Marcus on the point. Kenny Bouchard did not pit. That red car of his on the inside is second, and here comes Joe Nemechek in 41. And oh,
man,
that's Jeff Gordon. When Nemechek checked up, Gordon was right on him.
Well, that's as close to a wreck as you'll see without actually seeing the sheet metal fly. I'm going to tell you right now, somebody made a quick decision to do the right thing then.
Greg Sachs splitting traffic there in 77, moving up to the high groove. Remember, only 6 of these drivers go on to the Winston Select.
Look at Kenny Schrader go to the outside here, man. He is making a move towards the front.
Oh, Marcus!
Oh, easy.
No! On his roof, Chuck Bound.
Chuck Bound was up on his roof there for a second.
And comes sliding down the speedway. They will race back to the line and take the caution flag.
Jeff Gordon's in the lead and Kenny Schrader's in second right now.
Let's go to Glenn Jarrett.
Well, you can see the work being done on the front of Jeff Gordon's car. Remember, we showed you that he had caved the front end in. Ray Evernham and crew are taking this opportunity to repair that car. Now, under Winston Open rules, you can work on the car under red flag conditions. That's what they're doing. They're repairing that aerodynamic damage now. Jeff Gordon, you've been on a rocket ship. Man, this thing is really running.
Well, it was right until I hit that piece on the back straightaway. You know, I don't know what it was, but I knew it was pretty heavy. And when I hit it, the car immediately started pushing really bad. So fortunately, we got that last stop to pull it out a little bit. And, you know, even though that was a bad accident, we don't like to see that. You know, it's working well for us. We get to fix this front end, hopefully, and maybe the car will be as good as it was at the start.
Well, you had the thing. You'd put it out front then on that restart. You think you can get back there?
Well, you know, I tell you that the car is working real well. You know, these guys have done a good job and working hard all day to get to run this good. But it starts out real good. Let's see what it does after about 15 or 20 laps.
I see a little more patience in Jeff Gordon this year.
Well, I feel like I'm driving as good or better than I've ever driven before. We're just not getting the brakes. So maybe this is one of the brakes that we needed tonight and get us into that Winston.
Well, I think at the rate he's going, he has a really good chance of getting there. This is one of the fastest cars out there right now, guys.
And I think, Glenn, you asked the key question about patience. There's Ray Evernham lying on the ground supervising the aerodynamic repair. Jeff Gordon is a not just much more experienced, but he seems like a much sharper, smarter, picking his chances driver than he was a year ago.
He is absolutely, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get back from break. You know, Mike, you asked me a question about Jeff Gordon and how well he's doing with everything this year, and he has so much more maturity. And every year he'll get better and better. And when he starts winning, he's going to be a force just like Dale Earnhardt and several other people.
Well, he's putting on a good show of it tonight, buddy. 16-minute red flag session. Ward Burton, his brother Jeff, and Joe Nemechek are in the 6 qualified spots. Rick Mast in the Skoal number 1 is 1 spot away. And behind him, Hut Strickland, then Wally Dallenbach, Ted Musgrave, Jimmy Spencer.
Mike, if you own those 2 cars, what would your strategy be?
Which 2?
The first 2. That's both of them are Hendrick's cars. Jeff Gordon.
My strategy, get lost.
Yeah, hook
Check
up and
out.
go. Get
Check
away
out.
from all harm there.
Pace car is in. 17 laps to go. First 6 cars qualify for tonight's main event.
What a jump Jeff Gordon got.
Holder sets the pace. He didn't wait for Schrader or anybody else. He took off. Jeff Gordon has checked out. He has paid the bill. He's gotten all of his frequent hotel points. There he is on the left side of your screen. He's gone to catch the plane.
Yeah, if Hoosiers got an advantage, they better use it now because Jeff Gordon's the type of race car driver. He does not slack off, and he's looking for that rainbow. I know he wants in the Winston.
I call that a 1.2-second lead, but it might as well be an hour and 2 minutes.
Now, Mike Engel was smart enough to fix that front end during that red flag there, and that made a big difference. And see where that car is running right now? He's 1 inch off the white line all the way through that corner.
Now here comes the battle for second behind Gordon. Greg Sachs has it. Kenny Schrader in green and white wants it.
Everybody's watching this race because Jeff Gordon's kind of just checked out, so we're going to keep our eye on the bubble for a little while here and see what happens.
Yeah, Jeff has really stunk up the show. Let's show you Jeff Gordon briefly, because he'll get the white flag this time around.
We have a fight for second place. As you see them going in the corner here, they'll come in the frame right here. That's Kenny Schrader and Greg Sachs side by side going in the first corner there.
That's for bragging rights and a bit of money, but 6th place is the one that counts. There's second.
That's okay. I'm in the Winston if I can just hold her straight here, but he's not the type of driver to do that.
Jeff Gordon wins it after starting from the pole.
Well, Dallenbach did everything he could do. I guess maybe he was tired of the nose car was a little bit loose coming off the corner there. He probably got the right rear hot and couldn't make up the distance.
But Jeff Gordon, who led this race last year until he wrecked out of it, wins the Open.
Can we do it now? Yay for Jeff.
He had a good strong run, and there's Rick Hendrick cars finishing 1st and 3rd.
Battered but not beaten. That's the main thing.
And he'll go on to the Winston Select, which is coming up next. We asked Jeff Gordon this morning, how important is it if you could win the Winston Open tonight?
Oh, I mean, God, I don't even think you can put words into that. You know, it's an unbelievable opportunity and be a chance of a lifetime.
This is such an...
Good.
The feature. Let's get out of Glenn.
Well, Mike, we're trying to catch up with Jeff Gordon. Nobody else could, but maybe I can. He's talking to Crew Chief Ray Evernham now. Well, Jeff, you talked to me earlier under that red flag condition. You thought you might be able to do it, but, man, you just left them in the dust.
Well, not exactly. I mean, we're just trying to learn for that Winston. You know, I'm just awful excited to be in it, first time ever, and it's a big thrill. You know, I mean, there's not too many guys that can say they've been in that race, so I'm awful excited. Even though we had to come through the Open, I didn't wreck. I was out there all by myself this time and didn't put in the fence, so I learned last year, I guess. But these guys, this DuPont front, and they fixed it there on that red, you know, so that got us back in the race.
You're awfully strong. You think you got the car that can take the Winston Select?
Well, I think the good thing is we've got 50 laps out here now. We know what to do to the car. Hopefully that'll pay off in that Winston. You know, we're going to be able to tune it up a little bit, and I think we got an awful strong car. We'll just have to see. I don't know how strong those guys are.
Well, I think he's pretty select. Randy?
For 1,200,000, 43 cars, and Andretti, because he missed the drivers' meeting, goes shotgun, goes to the rear. You're now riding with 3 of our onboard cameras. We have several more for you today. Jeff Gordon, the pole sitter up there, taking the field down the back straightaway. Getting set for a start. You got to really think about taking a little easy here this first part of this race, huh, Richard?
Well, you got to figure there's going to be 3 or 4 races tonight. You know, starting out right now, it's kind of warm, and then it'll start getting cooler, and everybody's got to adjust. So everybody will figure on that, I guess.
24-degree banking. About to be attacked for the first time.
There they go. All down into the first corner. They still look like a pace lap right now because they're all not strung out. But it won't take them long to string out.
Where do you collect high gear out there?
Well, you get that before you get to the first corner. So you're ready to go when you get to the first corner. You're running wide open. A lot of times you can go in faster because you accelerate.
Bodine scoots down to the inside, tries to find the hole. Nemechek up on the outside, and you're riding with Bodine as they come by for the first time, and he had a handful of those bumps up in turn 4. Take another look at that when they go back up through there this next time. Schrader looking good, stays in the bottom, and Nemechek just hangs it out on the outside and stays there, runs wheel to wheel.
See, this is what's going to be interesting because he's got on the Hoosier tires, and well, he's got on Hoosier tires on both sides of him right now.
18 backing up, and Jeff Gordon tapped him as they came through turn 3. Now he collects it back up, and they run side by side, but he backed up about, what, 2 car lengths, and Jeff Gordon was all over him.
Yeah, 2 cars get by him down there.
As the standings are, it's Ford in first, Ford in second, Chevy in third, Dale Jarrett Chevy back and forth, and Urban's Ford in fifth. Ricky Rudd's Ford is sixth, Harry Gantz in seventh. Best we can do for Pontiac is 10th right now for Michael Waltrip.
Yeah, he's been struggling along. He's been running good, staying out of trouble. That's why he's got that far up.
Ford and Chevy tied in the manufacturers battle this year as they get to 11 races in the Winston Cup Series. And there you see Jeff Gordon, just 22 years old. They say he's already won 600 races. Do you feel that he has that same determination? He's so young that you see in Earnhardt.
Not altogether, no. He's coming through at a different time. He's a different age, different circumstances. Earnhardt had to work for everything he's got more than what Gordon has. Not saying Gordon's not had to work for his stuff, but Gordon's never had to pawn the farm and all this kind of stuff. He's been lucky that somebody's been there with him with good cars, and he's had good guidance. So he's coming from a different school, and it's hard to beat that school of hard knocks. When he gets tough, we'll just find out how tough he really is.
Seeing him right now in third. 4 drivers have won from the pole. 4 drivers have won from the pole. Jeff Gordon now in third, trying to close in. Only 4 drivers in 35 seasons.
Dick Berger, what are they going to do down there with the 24 car?
Well, I'm with Ray Evernham. Ray, what will you do on your next pit stop?
Well, we're not sure. We're going to have to watch and see what the leaders do. We'll probably just end up with a gas and go, but we'll just wait and see what they do. You know, if a yellow comes out, it'll change everybody's strategies, but right now nobody can make it, so we're just going to have to see. We're going to let Rusty's crew chief make that decision.
You strong enough to win?
Right now it doesn't look like it, but I think if we can adjust on the car and if it comes down to a shootout, you know, Jeff Gordon with 10 laps, I'll put money on him.
537 miles in the rearview mirror as we get down to the side. This Coca-Cola 600 for the 35th time as Wallace stays in front, but Wallace's lead is dwindling. Wallace's lead is being eroded as Bodine continues to clamber back into this thing. With him comes Jeff Gordon. Gordon has a lot of making up to do to catch him, but there is time. Jeff Gordon in third spot. He finished second here 1 year ago, and he says he learned a valuable lesson.
Well, you know, when you get here, towards the end, it's going to be at night. And last year, I found myself in a position where I had to run really hard to run second, trying to run down Dale Earnhardt for the win. But I'm going to run awful hard. The thing is, you don't really need to run real hard at the beginning. You take it easy, save your race car, save your tires, and wait for that perfect pit stop there towards the end to dial that car right in. Hopefully, you know, it'll be about a 50, 60 lap shootout there towards the end, and we'll be there. I'll be pushing awful hard if it comes down to those last 50 laps.
Looks indeed like it's going to go to the last 50 laps as Gordon in number 24 stays back there in the show position. And now just fade back and you'll find where Jeff Gordon lies in all of this. You see him coming off turn 4. That's the separation, the interval on the top 3. Dale Jarrett, who was right up in there, led this race. He's fallen further back. He's in 4th position. Here's Gordon.
And we want to let you know who the Western Auto Mechanic of the race is. Ray Evernham, the crew chief for Jeff Gordon, is the winner of the award. The Western Auto Mechanic of the race posted tonight. Our hats off. Jeff may not win the race, but Ray Evernham comes home a winner tonight here at Charlotte.
Guy is really good. He used to be in the IROC series. Remember those cars were all dolled up the same and everything?
They was really good with that stuff.
Boy, he is so bright.
Pretty good with what he's doing here.
Sure is. You see, they
look like the 2 cars getting away from the 7. The 7 was catching him pretty good there for a while. In the last 4 or 5 laps, he's kind of worked it back out there again.
Put the spurs to number 2 to Rusty Wallace. He tries to draw away. That leaves Jeff Gordon in the lead for the moment. Gordon now first.
I'll tell you what, the way the tires has been working tonight, I don't think any of them want to take a chance on the tires. They could have made a little bit quicker pit stop, but the tires are so important that they fall off a second and a half right quick, so they need all 4 tires.
Here's Gordon coming onto pit road. Gant should be coming in shortly. And Rudd. We'll go to Dick Berggren as Jeff Gordon makes his pit stop.
Gordon's getting ready. I tried to get from Rick Hendrick what they were going to do. He said, I'll tell you after the stop. That's how late they are deciding what they are going to do. Gordon, right side tires so far. No effort on the left. No effort on the left. Oh, here we go. Left rear tire being loosened up now. Gordon, get it with 2. 2 for Gordon.
9.5. Will it hold up? Will that strategy work?
I don't think that'll work.
Gant is in. Number 33 is on pit road.
The difference between the 2 car and the 7 car after they got on back on the racetrack was 4 seconds. The 2 car beat him 4 whole seconds around getting in, getting out of the pit.
Looks to bet us another time. Riding with Jeff Gordon in the DuPont car.
He's doing good, man.
Isn't he doing well?
No, I mean, really, he's holding his own with against the 2 car, and the 2 car's got 4 new tires, so doing pretty good right now. I think it'll catch up with him, but so far it's not.
Jeff Gordon lies second. Getting down to 10 to go as Rudd call it Jeff Gordon into first. Wallace to second. On board with Jeff Gordon as he comes back.
Jeff's done stretched it out a little bit off of the 2 car.
happy pit stop. There's Jeff Gordon's fiance looking on. He met her in Victory Lane. I think he engaged in Victory Lane. At least he proposed in Victory Lane. So in that shakeout, Gordon takes first. Wallace Ho's second. Bodine is third. Dale Jarrett fourth. Ricky Rudd falls to sixth. He's just in front of Harry Gant. Jeff Gordon seeking his first Winston Cup victory. Set on the pole. It's been a long time since anyone has set on the pole and won the 600. 1976, the great David Pearson. Jeff Gordon, Pittsburgh, Indiana.
Now, Jeff's done stretched it from 2 seconds to 3.2 right now, so he's really just outrunning the two. Getting it on out there, getting it done right now.
5 laps to go, and they come by this time. As Jeff Gordon, at 22 years of age, this sensational driver did so well here a year ago, had a brilliant run in this race, is coming back and doing the only thing he can do, and that's improve on 1 year ago when he placed second in the event. Five to go. Putting a lap on Harry Gant, 7th place competitor. Jeff Gordon at 21, the youngest driver to win a 125-mile qualifier at Daytona. And the first rookie to win one of those 125s since Johnny Rutherford in 1963. Here tonight at Charlotte, North Carolina. Make no mistake about it.
It's just winding down. Everybody's hanging on now, trying to keep what they got.
Rusty Wallace stays in that second spot. Unless fate deals a different hand.
Yeah, it will, because Rusty's fading. He's getting beat like 15 or 21 hundredths a lap right now. I think he's just sort of settled in.
Wallace staying second, Bodine in third. Around Earnhardt and away from him. 600 wins in 15 years of racing, and he's 22. 2 to go. 2 laps remaining. Youngest winners over the years, Donnie Thomas at 20. Talk about the greats. Fireball Roberts won his first race in when he was 21. It was 30 years ago that Fireball lost his life in this race this weekend. Bobby Hillin was 22.
Man, I had to be in there somewhere when I won my first one.
They don't remember back that far.
Okay.
White flag. 1 to go. Coming around the Daytona 500 winner, Sterling Marlin. Looking up, Jimmy Spencer just in front of him. Boy, this is a moment.
He's battling along.
Set on the pole at 181.439. He will become only the 5th driver in 35 years to win the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, North Carolina from the pole. Checkers are out, and they are down, and it is Jeff Gordon victorious this evening on this Memorial Weekend at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Now I called another one.
You're in good company.
No, they did the right thing. I wouldn't have took a chance on it, but they did.
Earnhardt up to congratulate him.
He's shaking his fist at him. No, not really.
He'll race you hard, but he'll tell you when you did a good job, and Gordon did it splendidly.
I think everybody knew that he was going to win, just didn't know when.
Well, it's happened here. In this major race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600 belongs to Pittsburgh, Indiana's Jeff Gordon with a sensational run in the 35th annual Coca-Cola 600. to the Purolator winner's circle. Here's Randy Pemberton.
Well, Jeff Gordon is taking a few moments, gives his fiancee Brooke a hug. It was very emotional when he came in here. Jeff Gordon in absolute tears. He finally wins his first ever Winston Cup victory here in one of the biggest races of them all, the Coca-Cola 600. Let me walk in here and try and get a word with this young man. Jeff, a fantastic day for you. A great call on the pitch. You guys deserve to go to victory lane. Great job.
I'm speechless, man. I mean, this is the greatest day of my life. I don't know what to say. I mean, you know, it's a wonderful feeling, but I owe so much to this crew. I told everybody we weren't going to be fast at the beginning, and that we'd be there when it got dark and the lights came on. It's exactly what this thing did. You know, this car's named after my fiancee Brooke, and I love her very much. And this is just, I mean, unbelievable feeling. But you know, I got to thank Rick Hendrick, Chevrolet, DuPont especially. But this crew, I mean, they made that decision. I just drove the wheels off of it, but I didn't have to drive it too hard because they just did such an excellent job in the pits. And, man, that's what wins races, being smart, being there all day. We've been so unlucky lately. This is the only way to make it all worthwhile, man.
Well, they've said you've had the sophomore jinx all season. I know you wanted to put that behind you. You've done it tonight. You won one of the biggest races of all time.
We don't believe in jinx, you know. We just felt like things were happening that we had no control over, and we just kept working hard and working hard. Had team meetings to get our morale back up. Man, we're ready to win some more now. This is unbelievable.
Okay, get on out of there and celebrate with these people. Jeff Gordon, fantastic run for Jeff Gordon today and this entire DuPont team.
Watch this, Richard. I mean, this crowd is going to come unglued. People love this new youngster.
Yeah, they're looking for a hero.
Yeah, they are looking for a hero.
You know what I mean? They ain't none. I don't care what them kids is doing and done and stuff. They ain't none. So they're looking for somebody.
Well, here he is.
It's $1 million win for him.
Is it?
You know, yeah.
This crowd just waiting for him to gather himself up after he's gathered this race up and step forth from this car number 24 with which he's flown to victory.
There they go. Yeah, I think he's in a situation where nobody was pulling against him. They might be pulling for their favorite driver. I mean, like an Earnhardt fan, but they say, well, Earnhart ain't going to win tonight. Let's jump on this kind of deal. And a lot of times that's what happens, and probably what happened a lot tonight.
122,000 people, plus what was in the infield, paying their respects to a 22-year-old youngster originally out of California who simply loves to race. Let's meet the man he beat tonight, the great Rusty Wallace.
Rusty, you were looking over your shoulder at him. What happened in those last laps that you couldn't close? Rick Benjamin.
Rusty Wallace certainly had a lot to be proud of today, as did Jeff Gordon. We're told Gordon led only 13 laps, but the most important 13 at the end. Can't remember the last time we saw a driver win a major race and break out in tears and spontaneous joy in victory lane. A lot of hats off to young Jeff Gordon for his victory drive tonight. Now, a couple of awards to pass out here. The Liquid Wrench slickest move. We talked about other drivers perhaps qualifying. That slick move certainly goes to Jeff Gordon and Ray Evernham's crew, and that he leads for Gordon. The two-tire stop at the end really set it up. Now, we're also told that the UAW GM Teamwork Award of Excellence goes as well to Jeff Gordon's team. The Ray Evernham-led Rick Hendrick Motorsports entourage knocking that one off as well. We also want to tell you about the Advance Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly Award. We thought Ricky Rudd might have a chance. That 3-second stop he made late in the going for gas only. We thought that was a slick move too, but it gets Ricky and his team the Pits Done Quickly Award tonight here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, lots of activity here at the Speedway for the last couple of weeks. It's capped off by young Jeff Gordon winning his first Winston Cup race tonight in the Coca-Cola 600. More in a moment.
Yeah, when you consider, Richard, that until 1990, this kid had never sat in a stock car. He'd won in sprints and midgets and all kinds of stuff, but he'd never sat in a stock car until 1990, and he pulls off this kind of a victory tonight. It really speaks for a great future.
Oh, it's great. You know what I mean? The big advantage he had over the majority of the people, he comes in with the very best equipment. But that doesn't take anything away from his ability, because he goes out there and proves that he's capable of handling the very best equipment. That's what he does.
All right, let's, as we take a look at the rundown tonight, talk to Dick Berggren for a moment.
Well, Ken, it wasn't just a first win for Jeff Gordon. It was also a first win for crew chief Ray Evernham. This whole team is young, and what a wonderful future they have ahead of them. Randy?
Well, certainly a great call in the pits. This is a team sport. They made a great call, but the driver in the end result has to do it. And Jeff Gordon is certainly one of the greatest drivers we have out there. May never be another Richard Petty, but we may have another Dale Earnhardt standing in victory lane there tonight.
He's having his hands full in that Grand National race.
Yeah, he really is.
Richard Petty, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
We enjoyed it. Wish we'd have done better.
In his 42nd start, Jeff Gordon has won one of the biggest races the Winston Cup has to offer, the 35th annual Coca-Cola 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. For Randy Pemberton, Dick Berggren, Kenny Wallace, Rick Benjamin, Richard Petty, I'm Ken Squire. Good night, folks.
Bob, these fellows have rode by all these people. They have never seen as many fans as we have here at Indianapolis today. They are excited, but in just a moment, it's back to business.
They work through the north end of the racetrack. Now between turns number 3 and 4, Rick Mast on the pole in car number 1. It's Dale Earnhardt on the outside of the front row. Jeff Gordon will start from 3rd position. Now they make their way around corner number 4 as Elmo Langley has the pace car position to pull in off of the racetrack. The eyes of the entire sports world are focused at this moment on 300 acres of real estate in the northwest section of Indianapolis, Indiana. A new tradition begins as the green flag is about to come out to signal the beginning of the inaugural Brickyard 400. And the green is out.
And now, Bob, it's just another race. All the hype is over. These guys now can worry about winning the first Brickyard.
Can they race 2 abreast through the corners? You bet they can. We saw it in the 1st and 2nd corners. Rick Mast has the lead as they come down the backstretch with Dale Earnhardt tucked in right behind him, but Jeff Gordon is trying to make a move on Earnhardt for the 2nd position in the 3rd turn, but he did not get it. Now Mast still has the lead as they head through corner number 3 into corner number 4.
And that move that Jeff Gordon made on the inside of Earnhardt probably let Rick Mast lead that first lap.
In 78 previous runnings of the Indy 500, 151 different drivers have led a lap. Rick Mast has become the first to lead a lap in the history of competitive stock car racing, and that's the first time he has ever led a first lap of any race. Earnhardt, as a matter of fact, touched the wall as he came out of turn number 4. Watch this. He's running in 2nd position at this moment. This was last lap ago. Oh, he hit it pretty good, Benny.
He hit it pretty good, and I'm sure that Richard Gillis and that crew are concerned. Bill Elliott has gotten by him, and here's a lot of other cars trying to get by Earnhardt down the front straightaway. Look at them, 4 abreast.
At the line, they're 4 abreast in a battle for position as Jeff Gordon has taken over the lead from Rick Mast.
But Mast is coming back on the inside trying to retake the lead, but Gordon holds it coming off the 2nd corner.
Jack Arute has a report on Dale Earnhardt.
Well, Bob, Dale Earnhardt and Rick Mast came together on the start. And in that shunt, they think they may have bent the rear just a little bit. They're not sure down here. In fact, they are trying to radio to Dale right now, but they are going to try and keep him out as long as possible. That's why he hit the wall coming out.
Well, Benny, he hit it hard enough that he could have very definitely sustained some damage to that car.
Yes, he did, Bob. There we see Jeff Bodine, the Exide battery car, won the race at Pocono about a month ago.
And we are yellow for the first time in the inaugural Brickyard 400 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Huge break for Dale Earnhardt. Huge break for Dale Earnhardt.
There is debris in turn number 1. That's the reason that we are under yellow for the first time in the inaugural Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis. We'll be right back. Jeff Gordon from Pittsboro, Indiana, is the leader at this point. And here's our host, Paul Page.
Well, get those game cards ready now. It's time for the Budweiser Pace Car Sweepstakes. The 300-mile leader, as you saw, was Jeff Gordon. So write down Jeff Gordon on your 3x5 card, and you could win one of 4 1995 Chevrolet Monte Carlos, the official pace car of the Brickyard 400. And stay tuned for the final lap. It's your last chance to win. Brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. So Jeff Gordon is still the man to watch at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway as he continues to pull away from the remainder of the field. Of course, he has some very personal aspects riding with him. Most of his life, he grew up not far from here, graduated from high school close to here, and did most of its early racing right here in central Indiana. 16 changes thus far among 11 drivers in a race in which we have proven that you can, in fact, run side by side in a stock car at Indianapolis. Now back to Bob Jenkins and Benny Parsons.
It's been a very competitive race.
It has been a competitive race, and it looks like that you can come home again. Jeff Gordon is back in Indiana, where he grew up, and is doing very well.
There is the interval once again between first and second. Jeff Gordon displayed so much emotion when he won his first NASCAR Winston Cup race earlier this year at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I can imagine what it's going to be like if he should hold on to win this one. But we still got a long way to go. Gordon led after 120 laps, the average speed 128.6. Here's Jack Arute.
Well, Bob, this man was accountable for the first stock car ever to test at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and that was an IROC car. Ray Evernham was with IROC at the time, and now you're the crew chief on Jeff Gordon's car, and it looks like so far it's been a Sunday in the park for you guys.
Well, I don't know about that. You know, it's a lot of tough competition out here. Jeff's just picked up on this place. He's doing a great job. My hat's off to all of these guys that worked so hard getting this car ready. I'm really happy.
But early on, you had a push. It seems to go away as the race goes on, and then it sneaks back. Right now, what's he reporting on the car condition?
Well, our car's pretty balanced, and as the sun goes in and out, we've been playing with 1 or 2 pounds of air pressure, and that's all we've done. We had a little bit of problem with a jack on a pit stop and got us a little behind, but, you know, we just got our fingers crossed, and we're praying to God we want this one real bad. I want to say hi to Casey Elliott, Ernie's son. He can't be here, but we're looking after you, and you just keep fighting.
And Benny and Bob, when you ask Jeff Gordon who's accountable for his success in the last year and a half, he points to this man right here. He says communication is the key in auto racing, and he says he and I communicate excellently.
Jeff Gordon is trying to become the second person to win races at both Daytona and Indianapolis in the same year. A.J. Foyt won the Pepsi Firecracker in 1964 in the Indy 500, and Jeff won the Busch Clash this year at Daytona. There are 30 laps to go. 130 laps have been completed.
And if they do, can he keep Jeff Gordon behind him?
Exactly. Gordon has been the best car on the racetrack, but it could come down to the pit work. There is the opening of pit road.
And Jeff Gordon's crew, they call themselves the Rainbow Warriors.
Those on the lead lap are able to pit this time by. All others cannot pit this time, but can when they come around again. Gordon leads Irvin, Wallace, Elliott, and others at 55 miles an hour down pit road.
Had a brush over there, brushing off the front of the car. Jeff Gordon changing the right side, brushing the grill off. Jackman comes around, a chassis adjustment. Put one around the wedge in the car. Rusty's moving, Ernie's moving, Jeff Gordon is moving, but Rusty Wallace is going to beat him out.
15.9 second pit stop for Rusty Wallace, and he beats his competitors out of the pits. Very important track position. Jeff Gordon will restart in second position. We've been monitoring his radio, and he says regarding his second position, that's all right. We've got now about 27 laps to go, and we can beat them on the racetrack. But that is the question right now.
He's got to pass him, and we found that passing at this racetrack can be difficult. Sterling Marlin in the 4 car was running 6, had to come back in the pits. He's all the way at the tail end of the long line there, back in 17th spot. But meanwhile, it's going to be decided between those first 5 cars. I think our winner will come from Rusty, Jeff Gordon, Ernie Irvin, Brett Bodine, or Bill Elliott.
Let's watch Jeff Gordon, because we also hear that he's been told to try to get Rusty on the restart. Get this pass over quickly and then pull away. Well, let's see if that happens when the green flag comes out. The cars are now entering turn number 4. The pace car about to pull off the racetrack for the restart of what could be the final segment of racing in this inaugural event. They come slowly off of corner number 4. Wallace at the head of the line. Gordon is second, then Ernie Irvan, then Brett Bodine and Bill Elliott.
There we see Rusty accelerate. He's on the throttle. Now he moves down to the inside, trying to protect that inside from Jeff Gordon.
Jeff is not going to be able to get the advantage on the restart. Here they come into the first turn, and Rusty's got the lead. And now we continue to think about the Roger Penske connection. He's the owner of this car, driven by Rusty Wallace. He won the Indianapolis 500 this year. He has won it 9 previous times, but Gordon makes a move to the inside in the backstretch. Does he have the lead in 3? Yes, he does.
Now then, Rusty and Ernie Irvan almost made contact as they came off that second corner. Here's Rusty trying to get back on the inside, and he is back on the inside, Bob.
Jeff has got to give him room. They're going to come through turn number 4, side by side and onto the straightaway. Some great racing, and again they touch as they come down the straightaway. It's Wallace to the inside and Jeff Gordon to the outside, and Ernie Irvan is a factor too.
Now, Jeff can't get back to the inside because Ernie is there. Jeff Gordon's going to try to pass him on the outside, Bob. Can they run 2 abreast through the corner? You bet you they can.
Gordon goes back ahead as Rusty gets a little loose in the second corner.
And here comes Ernie. Brett Bodine trying to follow him.
Jeff Gordon protecting that low line. But he is moving away from Wallace, who may have a problem.
It looks like Rusty has a problem of some kind.
So now it is Jeff Gordon and Ernie Irvan and Brett Bodine and Bill Elliott who are running 1st through 4th. Darrell Waltrip is in 5th position, and Rusty has fallen back to 6th.
Rusty did not go for the pit, so evidently he does not have a problem. Just got the car a little bit loose.
Gary Gerald is in Rusty's pit. Welcome back to ABC's live coverage of the Brickyard 400, and we have a new leader, the 13th different leader of the race. Ernie Irvan has gone around Jeff Gordon.
But Jeff Gordon is right there. Ernie hasn't went any place.
The question is, Jackaroo, did Jeff Gordon allow Ernie Irvan to go around?
Well, Bob Jenkins, what happened is he's been battling a loose condition, so Gordon radioed in and said the car's getting looser and looser, and the call was made from the pits, let Ernie Irvan go by, save it for later. And then they ended the conversation with being told, they said to Jeff, remember, you're the man today.
But is he?
We're going to find out. This is a classic battle. A Ford, a Chevrolet. Man, I thought this was going to hit the wall.
It looked like they came off the corner very, very high. 18 laps to go now. Jeff Gordon chases Ernie Irvan. Brett Bodine is 3rd. Bill Elliott 4th. Rusty Wallace is 5th. Darrell Waltrip is 6th. And Dale Earnhardt is in 7th position.
Jeff Gordon almost grazed that wall coming off that corner with 18 laps to go. And remember what happened 18 laps to go? Emerson Fittipaldi hit the wall with just 18 laps to go, allowing Al Unser Jr. to win the 500, the Indianapolis 500. Now Ernie's getting a little loose. See that wiggle in the back of the car?
Yep. Gordon took a look to the inside as they came down the straightaway. Let's see what his strategy is as they come out of 2 and head down the long backstretch. He's tucked right on the back bumper of Ernie Irvan. Now, once again, takes a look to the inside, but he'll make no attempt to make the pass.
I tell you, Bob, that must be an exceptional engine in that 28 car because they had a problem with it yesterday. Rather than go to a backup engine, they took that engine apart, took the oil pan off, took the rod caps off, checked the bearings to make sure they hadn't scored anything, and put the engine back together and put it back in that car to race today. Here comes Jeff. He's taking a look. He's taking a look.
He might make an attempt at taking the lead into turn 1, and he does. the hometown crowd rises to its feet and salutes their hero, Jeff Gordon.
Man, look at these folks wave as they go by. But did he make his move too soon? Is Ernie going to get him loose now? Remember, his car is loose with the car right behind him.
Ernie Irvan has, won 12 NASCAR Winston Cup races. Jeff Gordon has only one in his resume. That was at Charlotte, North Carolina, earlier this year.
Now he's going back in front of the fans who haven't seen him lead in the race, and they are on their feet applauding Jeff Gordon.
He celebrated his 23rd birthday just Thursday when he qualified for the inside of the second row. And look at the crowd waving and cheering Jeff Gordon on to victory.
Man, oh man.
There are 15 trips around the 2.5-mile oval at Indianapolis left in this inaugural Brickyard 400.
Now, if Jeff Gordon can just stay that far in front of Ernie Irvan, he'll be okay, because Ernie is not close enough right now to really loosen his car up in the corners. But if Ernie pulls back up on the deck lid, he might get Jeff loose again.
As they separate just a bit, let us inform you that Mike Chase is being transported to Methodist Hospital for neck x-rays. He has some contusions, but the injuries are not believed to be serious to Mike Chase.
And he did walk from his race car to the ambulance.
Jimmy Spencer, of course, was also taken down to Methodist for x-rays after an accident early on in the event. Gordon continues to lead, and Benny, it appears as if he is stretching it out a little bit.
Looks like it. Maybe a half a car length more than the last time.
The first two have pulled away from third place, Brett Bodine. There comes Brett, Bill Elliott, and Rusty Wallace, who are running third, fourth, and fifth, and Dale Earnhardt, who is sixth.
We see Earnhardt has gotten by Darrell Waltrip. Darrell's back in seventh spot now. Ernie's not letting him get totally away, Bob. Look, he's closed back up. What's that, 2 car lengths?
Another thing that you have to consider at this point, Benny, is experience. Jeff Gordon is only in his second year of full-time racing.
But, Bob, he's done things that guys who've been here 5 years can't do. I mean, this guy is an exceptional race car driver, Jeff Gordon is. And a nice guy on top of that.
Can you imagine what's going through his mind at this time?
No, I can't. I cannot imagine. As excited as this young man was at Charlotte when he won that Coca-Cola 600, can you imagine how excited he will be if he can just pull this thing off in front of his hometown folks?
Just imagine the stress he is under at this time. He knows that if he misses an entrance or an exit to the corner by 2 inches, he's lost the lead.
He's lost the lead, and Ernie has pulled up on that back bumper. Now, can he get him loose enough to get under him coming off the second or fourth corner? Ernie's there.
Irvan is right there, as a matter of fact, now with 12 laps to go. Irvan looks like he's going to make a run on Jeff. He's got a good momentum build-off coming up off of the second corner down the backstretch. Irvan is going to go into the lead once again, or is he?
You reckon Jeff is going to race him on the outside like he did Rusty? He is, Bob. Side by side in turn 3.
But they give each other plenty of room. They're into the short chute, and Gordon has a half car length advantage as they go into 4. Ooh!
Ernie got the car a little bit out of shape as he went in the corner, but they're still side by side. Now Jeff Gordon retakes the lead, and he went in that third corner on the outside of Ernie.
Unbelievable. They cross the line. 11 laps to go. Here's Jackaroos.
Well, Benny, what's happening, Bob? Jeff Gordon is radioing in that he's got a problem. The problem is, as you said, every time that Ernie Irvan gets up to the rear deck lid, he gets extremely loose. He was fleeting those last 2 laps. that he had to let him go by. And it looks like what might be happening right now.
A replay of the last lap. Once again, Urban moves to the inside and challenges Jeff down the backstretch.
Jeff just will not let go, Bob. He will not let go. He says, I'm going to win this race, but this time he does.
And now the question is Ernie going to be able to pull away? Meanwhile, Brett Bodine, Bill Elliott, and the others have closed in on these two.
While these two guys have been racing, look, we've got a 6-car battle for the lead.
1 through 6 are running nose to tail with now 10 laps to go in the inaugural Brickyard 400. And look who's running in 6th position, Benny. It's Dale Earnhardt.
Man, oh man. I tell you what, this race might have a little boring spot about from lap 150 miles to about 300, but this last 100 miles has been all worth it. What a great race.
Both of these drivers who are running first and second were born in the state of California. And the last California-born driver to win at Indianapolis was Pat Flaherty in 1956. Gordon looks to the inside in 3.
Jeff can run as long as he doesn't have somebody right behind him. But these cars, when they pull up right behind that limiter, they're getting him loose. Or they're using all that racetrack when they come off 2 and 4, right up against that outside retaining wall.
And Ray Evernham has told Jeff Gordon to stay on Ernie's tail and get him loose. Run in the same order down the backstretch. Just a couple of feet separating Irvin from Gordon.
Folks, you just can't imagine what's going through. Well, you can't imagine what's going through these drivers' minds. Just think about the thing that you wanted most in your life. And that's exactly what they're thinking right now.
Jackaroot has more from Jeff's pit.
Benny, here's what's going to happen. And Bob, the team down here on pit side is going to make the call when they want Jeff Gordon to try and attempt the pass. They want him to stay right where he is for right now. And they say, we'll call you when we want you to go to the front.
Exactly, Jack. They don't want him to get in front too soon because Ernie will get him loose again, as he did a moment ago. With 2 or 3 laps to go, Jeff Gordon will try to make his move.
Well, there has never been a pass on the last lap to win an Indianapolis 500. The latest pass occurred in 1989 on lap 198 when Emerson Fittipaldi and Al Unser Jr. battled.
Why do you reckon these people pay these good money for these seats but don't sit down, Bob?
I don't think they've been sitting for most of the day. It's been a tremendous race. And we still have no idea who is going to win. Will it be Ernie Irvan or Jeff Gordon, or one of the 4 that trail them?
Yes, Gordon is up on that back bumper right now. He's getting Ernie a little bit loose as he comes off these corners, as he comes off 1, 2, 3, and 4. He's trying to worry him to death right now. He wants Ernie to look up and see nothing but the white of his eyes. He wants to smile at Ernie and see so he can see his teeth when he looks in that rearview mirror and know that he's right there on that back bumper.
When they come down and cross the line, we'll have 6 laps to go. Gary Gerald has the situation regarding Ernie Irvan.
Well, we're checking with the crew to see if there's been any radio conversation. They said Ernie has not complained. We asked him if he was getting loose when Gordon got up underneath that rear spoiler. They said he hasn't complained thus far. They're hanging on and hoping.
Gary, there ain't nothing they can do. I mean, if he ain't got it right now, they ain't going to fix it. If his car is not good enough to hold him back, there's nothing Robert, Larry, and Reynolds can do.
Gordon content to stay right on the rear spoiler of Ernie Irvan for the moment, but the laps are winding down. Just a little more than 5 laps left to go. There.
Robert Yates, the owner of the 28 car.
He watches as his driver comes down and leads another lap.
It's got to be tough on those crewmen. Oh, here we go. Ernie slipped going in one. Ernie slipped, and Jeff Gordon gets alongside.
That wasn't on orders from the crew. That was because Ernie missed the entrance to turn 1, and Jeff saw it and immediately went for the hole.
And something's wrong with Ernie. Something has happened to the 28 car, Bob.
Urban slows down and is going to lose second position.
A tire. He's got a tire going down.
Urban drops off the pace, and now Brett Bodine goes into second. Ernie Urban heads for the warm-up lane, and Jeff Gordon has the lead.
The right front tire went flat on the 28 car.
Here's Gary Gerald.
Yeah, the crew just sagged visibly on the wall. Right front tire, you hit it right on the head. And oh, in the last 5 laps, they had 4.5 to go, Bob.
A tough break for Ernie Urban, the NASCAR Winston Cup points leader. But again, listen to this crowd in Indiana as they cheer their boy, Jeff Gordon. Give him the win yet, because the same problem could befall him before 3.5 laps are over. And Ernie Urban has made it to his pit to get that flat tire fixed. But Jeff Gordon, there is the tire that has possibly cost Ernie Urban a victory here in Indianapolis.
And he's going to go a lap down. He's going to go a lap down to the leaders as he comes down pit road. Here they come.
Jeff Gordon, Brett Bodine, Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt in that order. And then comes Darrell Waltrip.
Kenny Schrader, Michael Waltrip. There we see Ernie as he exits the pits as Jeff Gordon goes by.
157 laps have been completed. There are 2.5 to go. Here comes Ernie Urban out of the warm-up lane with the group of cars that he was running with earlier, but he does not have a chance of winning now. Jeff Gordon has a little bit of breathing room, Benny, because Brett Bodine is maybe a 1.5 seconds behind.
I don't know, it's not that far, but we don't have far to go. Coming down for two laps to go, the signal this time.
This is a Cinderella story that is unfolding here. Jeff Gordon, many people, including perhaps Tony George, the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, wanted Jeff Gordon, after his outstanding performances in open-wheel cars, to perhaps think about moving to the Indianapolis 500 and running the open-wheel cars. But instead, Jeff Gordon chose the NASCAR stock car route. And he is on his way to a victory in the first stock car race run at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And there's his crew. They can't watch.
The Rainbow Warriors did good today, didn't they? Here he comes, Bob.
Off of corner number 4, Doyle Ford displays the white flag. Jeff Gordon has 2.5 miles to go before he wins this event. It'll be his second NASCAR Winston Cup victory. He brings the car through corner number 1, okay, and onto the short chute.
There's Brett Bodine. It looks like Brett's getting a little bit closer, but does he have time? He is getting closer.
Off to the backstretch now with less than 1/2 lap to go for Jeff Gordon. He eyes turn number 3.
Listen to the crowd as they acknowledge Jeff Gordon when he goes by.
It's an unbelievable situation in Indianapolis. Here he is in the 4th turn. This is his final trip around turn number 4. And Jeff Gordon is about to write his name in the racing history books. Years from today, when 79 stock car races have been run here, we'll remember the name. Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400.
Man, oh Man, oh man. Jeff is screaming on his radio back to the pit crew. Oh my God, I did it! I did it! Yes! Benny, we thought we saw emotion from this kid in Charlotte. I think it'll be at least duplicated here in just a few moments. I'm about to cry. It is an unbelievable story that has happened here at Indianapolis today. Jeff Gordon has won the Brickyard 400, and we'll be back to talk with him in just a moment.
We came to the Brickyard to try something new. We ended up doing the same old thing. Chevy congratulates Jeff Gordon, winner of the first ever Brickyard 400. One car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR. Genuine Chevrolet.
This is Paul Page. We're back in Indianapolis, and yes, indeed, the dreams of childhood can come true as Jeff Gordon has taken the win, and it's your last chance for you to win. The winner of the Brickyard 400 is Jeff Gordon. Write his name down, Jeff Gordon, on your Budweiser Pace Car Sweepstakes 3x5 card and send it in. One of 4 1995 Chevrolet Monte Carlo official pace cars could be yours. Thanks for playing, and remember to send in your game card, brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Here's the final pass for the lead. As down inside of Irvin, Jeff Gordon made the move. Irvin in trouble because of a tire. And Jeff hung on. Coming off of turn 2, he was in front. Already, Ernie Irvin has slowed completely. But Brett Bodine was not about to give it up as he began to close in and came across the line 1/2 second behind Jeff Gordon. So history has been made once again at Indianapolis, a whole new line of history. The 24 car of Jeff Gordon has taken the win at Indianapolis. And for the very first time ever, a stock car will make the turn into winner's circle in front of the master control tower here. An incredibly popular win for this crowd in Indianapolis. They've watched this young man grow up. He celebrated his 23rd birthday last Thursday. Let's go to Gary Gerald.
Ernie Irvin is right here and has just come out.
All right, here is your race summary now as Jeff Gordon gets his final inspection. Jeff Gordon takes the win at 131 miles an hour. We had 13 different leaders. They swapped the lead 21 times and 6 caution flags for 25 laps in the 160-lap run. Now, we're ready to go down to the winner's circle in front of the master control tower, and here's Jack.
Well, things are a little like Bedlam here, a little different than the Indianapolis 500. Taking the congratulations. Jeff, we'd like to get you out of the car as quickly as we can. We'd like to talk to you because you have made history. First it was Ray Haroon, ladies and gentlemen. And now, the name is Jeff Gordon, has won the first Winston Cup race here at the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jeff, over here, congratulations, a terrific victory, but tell us about the battle first.
Oh, man. What a battle. You know, we had a great car all day long, and the only car I was really worried about was that 7 car. And you know, I saw him, he had his misfortune. I thought, well, all we got to do is just be nice and smooth and ride it here out from here. But that wasn't true. You know, we had a caution, and Ernie and the 2 car were right there, and I pulled away, but Ernie, you know, he kept loosening me up. So I let him go by, and then I get on him and eat his tires up and loosen him up. He let me go by. I tell you, I just want to commend that whole Havoline team and Ernie Irvin. He drove me a really nice, clean race. We didn't have to worry about anything. And
well, listen, we've got a very special presentation. Behind me, and behind you, is the president of the internationally known Indianapolis Motor Speedway that is now the home of Winston Cup's Brickyard 400, Mr. Tony George, for a very special presentation. Tony?
Jeff, congratulations. You've helped write history here. Your name will be the first to be inscribed on the beautiful PPG trophy for the Brickyard 400. This is yours to take home. Congratulations.
Well, from Victory Lane and Spectacular, let's go back to the tower.
Well, they came here with great expectations and many questions, these men of NASCAR. They came to make history.
Jeff, let's talk about
Today was a validation of the great success of this series that grew up from the post-war short tracks of the South. Dreams have come true. Jeff Gordon has won the Brickyard 400. He is the champion.
Finishing 8th this year was a competitor that, outside of Dale Earnhardt, I'm sure had the best year of anybody. He won super speedway race, the Coca-Cola 600, won the inaugural Brickyard 400, which everybody wanted to win. And more importantly, last Saturday, he won the heart of Brooke Seeley, and they were married. Jeff Gordon.
Nothing in motorsports is ever a sure thing, but every once in a while, someone comes along with the right to challenge that statement. Meet the newest contender. With the support of his second-year owner and carrying 1993 NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year honors, 23-year-old Jeff Gordon began his quest for success early. At the Busch Clash, he beat the veterans at their own game. In the famed Daytona Victory Circle, we got our first taste of what a points race triumph would be like. He came close in the Daytona 500 with a fourth-place finish and backed it up 2 races later with a third at Richmond. He could run fast and run up front. These tracks were no longer asphalt strangers to him. He captured the pole for the Memorial Weekend Showcase, and on May 29th, Jeff found the winning combination, and the code name was Charlotte. Gordon continued his assault on the super speedways with top 10 finishes at Dover, Pocono, and Daytona. Then it was time to go back home again. Decades from now, we can all say we were there in Indianapolis to witness the merging of racing superpowers, the day that a local boy became a national hero, the day that Jeff Gordon crossed the final yard of brick ahead of all others for the inaugural honors. First race, first place. For his win, Jeff took a victory lap like no other, and now his ties to NASCAR Winston Cup racing are permanent. It's a sure bet this won't be his last trip to the Waldorf Astoria podium. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the Rick Hendrick stable, the driver of the DuPont Chevrolet, finishing 8th in the NASCAR Winston Cup point standings from Pittsboro, Indiana, Jeff Gordon.